Luca, you come into my stream or my DMs, basically pretty regularly often. Sometimes it's my stream, sometimes it's my DM. And about probably half of the comments you make are just rigorous flirting with me. Like, you'll pop into my stream, you'll call me unendingly handsome, you'll compliment my hair, you'll compliment my shirt, you'll be in the DMs, and you'll be like, oh, hey, by the way, did you know that you're unbelievably cute and adorable? And I just have to ask, why do you do that? That's a question that I'm honestly very surprised I haven't been asked yet, despite the vigorous amount that I do so. So, hello everybody, LucaTheJackal here, back once again with another Daily Ramble, and it's been a while. It's been, I don't know actually how long it's been, but it's been probably a week or so. I can check that right now. I have the power of the internet. Well, let's see, YouTube channel, my channel, look at that, 117 subscribers, that's still insane to me. 2 weeks ago. Oh, okay, well. But yeah, it's been about 2 weeks since the last Daily Ramble I have recorded, and a lot of people actually really liked the last one, and I found that really odd because I was sitting there before and during and after the entire process of it. Actually, I was like, well, I like the concept of this, but I just feel like, it's a bit of a weaker topic for me to gather, weaker topic for me to do. It just felt kind of iffy, honestly, because like I felt stronger about other topics. I felt like there were some other topics that I would be able to do better, and instead I just kind of focused on one of the weaker links, which is what I did, and a lot of people actually really liked it for some reason, and I was actually really surprised by that. But I'm never gonna say no to that. I had a lot of fun recording it, and I've been very eager to get the next episode out. And I apologize on the lack of uploads recently, and I'm kind of doing this because I need to. But I've had a lot on me right now. I've got a lot of work, I've got a lot of school right now. I've got like 5 big projects at once. It's amazing. But I had a little free time today, and I was like, hey, should I stream? Should I record something? And I was talking with one of my good friends. And they were like, you should record something. I'm like, I could do a Daily Ramble, and they're like, oh, you should do that. I would have something to do on the train. And I'm like, oh, all right, I'll do it just for you. So you know who you are. I'm not saying any names, but you know exactly who you are. Thanks for helping me out. But regardless, I had the time to do this, and I figured it'd be fun. I wanna be able to get out there and just do some more just a chatty kind of content, because that's kind of what I really want to be able to get to at the end of the day. Like, I love scripted content, but I really want to be able to just sit down and just talk, or even just on stream or something, because it's fun doing that. It's fun just being able to just talk to people. I like doing that. but yeah, here we are once again, and I'm very happy to be back here as an obvious note. But back to the main topic. For those of you who don't really know me, I pop over a lot of the time with to Splunky 2 streamers, and just generally I'm a pretty chatty person. I like to chime in to conversations, Do I have meaning in these conversations? A lot of the time, no, and I'm just kind of there because I want attention. But aren't we all, at the end of the day? But, I pop into those things, and I'm always very happy to just chat in. But a lot of the time, I'm just kind of there, and I just flirt. Right? A lot of people who know me, know me because I'm, like, part of the poison-type community, and I pop in there a lot, and probably a good third of the messages I send are either me flirting with poison type specifically, or with like other people in the community. And I'm sure a good amount of you have gotten your fair share of Luca flirting content, and you're welcome. When I become unreasonably famous, you'll be able to go, hey, when I was there when he was just a beginner, right? He was calling me handsome from the beginning. He was saying my hair was great from the beginning. um, but regardless, you know, I'm surprised I really haven't had that question come up to me, because like, I mean, it's kind of a kind of a weirdish thing to do. I don't want to say super weird, but like, you know, I'm just kind of a dude who pops into a stream or just any chatter, and I just flirt with people, right? Like, there's some people who have, you know, I'm gonna call you cute as my brand, like William Chang, for example. He just kind of calls basically everyone cutie, and that's cool. That's a cool brand, but like, and that's kind of the brand I'm trying to go with as well, where I just call everyone adorable and flirt with them regularly. And it's gonna be weird finding that fine line later on, but that's a different topic for a different day. But you know, again, I just kind of pop into those streams, and I just, you know, I say nice things. I mean, it's not even like really. I mean, I don't know what exactly the word is for it, but like, it's not super intense stuff. It's just 90% of it is just me kind of sitting down and saying, "Hey, you're handsome." Sometimes it's in a witty fashion, you know, but you know, most of the time I'm just kind of sitting down and I just go, "Hey, Lamau, you're cute," and that's really it. But like, you know, but like, obviously it's a question, like, why do that? You know, why would you just, you know, why would you even, like, you know, try to just, you know, sit down and just flirt with people, right? That's kind of weird. It's kind of a unique way to do that sort of thing. But I think there's a pretty, I like to think there's a pretty, you know, simple reasoning for it, and it's just kind of the general, I want to make people happy, right? I am an absolute monster when it comes to like basically anything, and I'm really weird because like, I'm extremely nice. I like to consider myself extremely nice, but I also like to consider myself a complete fucking asshole at the same time. Like, if I get the chance to be nice, I will be nice. If I have the chance to be mean, I will tell you to F off every time. And it's like, you alright there, man? And, well, the answer is obviously no. I have 12 different personalities, and I am only revealing, like, probably 3 of them right now. But even then, it's still, I still like to think a pretty consistent part of just who I am is I'm trying to make people happy. That's something that's just kind of been sticking around for a good while. I like to just, you know, I like to make people happy, and I think a lot of us do as well. It's like, you know, why not, right? Like, what's the reason not to be nice to someone, right? Like, I'm sitting here like, okay, if I'm nice to someone, I like being nice, right? It's honestly just a fun thing to do, and there's a good amount of the time where I'm able to like practice my wit in doing so, right? Like, I'm able to, you know, try and make a semi-witty comment when I'm flirting with someone, right? And that's fun. I like being able to practice that, and there's a good way to do so. Obviously, you can do that by being mean, but another big thing about it is, you know, I'm gonna sit down and, okay, what's the difference between being nice and mean, right? Like, you know, if you're, like, either way, it's more often than not a short-term gain for the person who's either being nice or being mean, right? Like, you know, if you want to hold the door open for someone, right, that's something you're probably going to forget about in, like, 20 minutes. You're going to forget about that thing, and maybe the other person will forget about that thing, right? And it's kind of the similar case for being mean to someone, right? Like, if you're going to go up to someone and you're just going to call them an asshole or something like that, I don't even know why you would do that, but that's just kind of a light example. You know, just kind of doing that in the first place, it's, what was I saying? I love that I can just call this a daily ramble, and I can just ramble on, and I can have a proper reason for, you know, not knowing what I'm talking about, because I'm just rambling, and it's great. I need to be a lot nicer to that. What did that leprechaun do? What did that leprechaun do? I don't, okay, he bounced. but as I was saying, right? Like, a lot of these effects are just short-term stuff, right? You know, a lot of the stuff we do, we just do for a short-term gain, right? Like, you know, if you want to go over to someone, you want to hold the door open to them, you want to say a nice compliment, and chances are you're most likely doing it just because I want to feel like I've done a good thing, at least for the moment. And like, that's fine. That's a good enough reason as any. You know. So and you know, sometimes, and for being mean, it's kind of a similar case. Like, right? Oh, I just want to feel a little validation. I want to be able to feel a little bit better about my day right now, and I'm going to do that. And I'm going to do so by being mean to someone. So again, it's a lot of a similar thing for both, right? But the difference kind of is, how does it affect the other person, right? You know, and that's something that we all need to consider a lot more often, right? Like, how does the other person feel about it, right? Some people like being bullied, right? And it's also like, you know, a form of humor, right? Like, some people like, you know, shit-talking their friends. I like shit-talking my friends, you know, that's fun. I think a lot of people will be with their friends and they're just gonna insult each other for half an hour, and that will be the time of their life. And to that, I say all the power to you. But there's still the question of the long-term effect that it can have on someone, right? Like, okay, you've held, like, what? You've gone up to someone. You've gone up to someone and you said, "Hey, I like your shirt," or "I like your hair. I think it's I think it's a very nice hair. It's nice and smooth. It's nice and curly. It's very good, and I'm very happy to have that it's been part of my day," right? Like, obviously, it's a bit tamer than that, but regardless, like, you know, you're just sitting down and you're saying something nice to them. You know, and like, for you, that's just, okay, I'm being nice to that person. So what? But it could have been like the first compliment that person had received in like a month, a year, maybe forever, right? Maybe that's like the first time someone's ever been nice to them. You know, and it might not be clear on face value, or it might be clear on face value, it might be not, but you know, they might be very appreciative of it, right? And they might go home with that compliment in mind, and they're gonna be like, "Oh, that weird jackal dude really liked my hair. Huh. That was really nice of him." And you know, that's another small thing that matters, right? You know, it's just a good thing to be able to sit down. Why is my phone going off? Yes, I know. I have on Discord that I am recording, and people are still messaging me. Oh, to be famous. But in any case, compare that to being mean to someone, right? Like, regardless of, you know, what they have, right? Like the thing about being mean to someone is the two most negative outcomes to it, you know. That's the question. There's two most negative outcomes to it, and the first one is the more obvious one, which is oh, they've been a complete asshole to me, that hurt me a lot, and my day's ruined, right? Like, you know, I think we all kind of have that feeling, right? Like, you know, if someone pops over to you and they just kind of call you a fucking idiot for no real reason, you know, that might stick with you for a little bit. That might stick with you for that might stick with you for like an hour. It might stick with you for the rest of the day. You know, it could certainly mean a lot to you in a multitude of ways. And I think that's the most common one that people understand, and I think that's the one that a lot of us have experienced as well, right? Like, I'm sure a lot of us, I can't think of any examples off the top of my head, but I'm very positive that there have been instances where I've been hanging out, someone has been a jerk one way or another, and I've just kind of been like, oh, I mean, like, it kind of hurt, but sure, and then that just kind of sticks with me for a while, and right, and it sucks. And it really hurts. But I think the second one, which I think is another, which is also pretty reasonable to elaborate on, is just the concept of, what if they don't react, right? What if they don't have, like, an initial reaction to it? What if it doesn't mean anything to them? You know, the being negative part, right? And, like, let's consider that for a second of, you know, someone being, of you being, you know, a complete jerk to someone, and they don't care, right? And I'm not saying in the sense of, you know, oh, I'm just kind of beneath that kind of thing. I'm trying to be a bit more positive, so I'm just gonna ignore that, move on with my day. I'm talking about the kind of person that's, you know, that sits there, fully understands and takes in that insult, and has to move on with their day because of just they sat there and they're like, oh, that person said I was extremely ugly and stupid looking. You know, I hear that on a day-to-day basis, right? And like that has to hurt a lot more, right? For someone to be able to get an insult, no matter how heavy or intense it may be, or you know, or light or whatever, just for them to, you know, even if they're called like a slur or something, right? Like this goes on to, you know, racism, sexism, homophobia, transphobia, etc. Like for someone to just sit down and not have like a proper response to it, just be able to, and just have to accept it. You know, to just have to accept that statement because it's just part of your norm. That hurts. And I feel awful for anyone who has to experience those sort of things. And they shouldn't have to, right? And I think we all understand that. And that's the big issue, is that, you know, that's the kind of the point I'm trying to make. Like, right, okay, so if you're nice to someone, you know, regardless of if it is short term or long term, right? You know, it even if, I mean, like, being nice to those people. All right, let's go back to that second person, right? Like, you know, if you're being nice to that person, right? Like, again, that might be the first compliment that person. This is a fucking terrible tide pool. I forgot how bad this tide pool was. Holy schmoly. Oh, that was terrible. Okay. I love that I just 180 these sort of things. I'm like talking about like hard depression and that how some people are probably living the worst possible lives, and then I'm just like, 3 bear traps. That's terrible. But back on topic. You know, again, what if that's the first compliment that person has received in their entire life? Obviously, that's kind of an extreme step, and we all understand that. But what if it is? You know, what if, you know, you going up to a person and saying, "Hey, I like your hair." You know, something as simple as that, right? Could imagine that, you know, some people, that might have been the first compliment someone had ever received. And I think that's something we need to consider when we're just talking to random people, right? Like, you know, I'm popping into a stream, you know, someone's chatting around. If I call them handsome, right, like that might be the first time someone has ever complimented or flirted them. Will it probably psychologically fuck with them and make them feel like I genuinely love them? Probably. And that's kind of a line that I've been trying to not get into because I've been in that weird state before, and it has ruined a friendship once, and I'm trying to not get to that point. Like, I'm trying to make it clear that my flirting is very clearly platonic and just me trying to have, you know, fun and help out other people. But no, really, it's just you sit down and you got to consider what's happening with the other person, right? Like, you know, like, and even if it's not, you know, a really long time, right? Like, even if they're used to it, right? Like, even if, you know, if they haven't been complimented in like a week, right? They might hear that compliment and then go, "Oh, that's really nice. Thank you, man. It means a lot to me." And it probably does, right? And that's good. And it's good that it does. So where am I trying to loop this back to? Back to just, you know, being nice to people compared to being mean to people, right? You know, just because you know, if I'm nice to that, because like let's like, if I'm nice to that person's gonna go home and they're probably gonna remember that, and they're gonna be like, "Oh, that was really nice of him. I'm very glad that I was able to, and he was able to share that comment with me. So I'm gonna take that into close consideration. You know, compared to being mean to that person, where they're just gonna go, I'm used to that. You know, I'm used to people calling me slurs. I'm used to people calling me derogatory things. I'm used to people just not treating me as a people. And that's not something I ever really want to see with someone, right? But you know, you just gotta be nice to that person. And it's just good to be nice. I just like it, you know. I just like being nice to people. It's still fun, and it just makes my day to make someone else's day, you know. I like being able to have someone go, oh, thank you, Luca, you know, and give me a smile, give me a heart emoji or whatever, and I can just go, hey, I did a nice thing today, right? I am halfway through this ramble. My worry with doing this episode was that I was sitting here and I'm like, this video was, you know, almost 40 minutes long. What am I gonna be able to talk about, right? And that was kind of my concern with doing this doing this episode in the first place. Was like I want a shorter episode. I need something big to discuss, so on, so forth. But you know, back to the motivation thing. You know, like I talked about last time with motivation. Like you just got to do these things, right? You know, just do it. Don't be shy to do it. Just sit down, do what you want to do. And you know, worst case scenario, if it doesn't work, you can just if it doesn't go well, you can just go, oh, all right, well, that didn't work out. I'll try better next time, or I won't try next time at all. That's perfectly fine. Alright. And I think that can apply a pretty good amount to, you know, being nice compared to being mean as well, right? Like, you know, just why not try being nice, right? Like, just go up to a friend, you know, go to a friend or a family member, you know, doesn't have to be, you know, super loosely related, just someone you like. You know, not obviously not as like I mean, it can be as a significant other, but it doesn't have to be. But you know, just go up to a friend, you know, give them a compliment, just say something nice about them. Say, hey, I hope you have a good day, or like, oh, hey, you know, just flirt with them, I guess. Right? It's a weird. I'm getting to conclusions so fast. Let's draw back a bit. Let's talk more about me trying to make people happy, right? Like, you know, I'm trying to live my life in that kind of way, where I just sit down and I try to make people feel positive. I just I say a nice thing, I do a nice thing, and I just try to make them feel good. You know? I just try and make them feel like, you know, a happy person. And there's a multitude of ways to do that as well, right? There's a lot of different ways you can really do that. And I think a lot of people, I think people secretly understand these different ways, but they don't fully know it, right? So, but I'll kind of, you know, talk about the main ones I focus on. One of the main ones, and that I focus on, is probably the most obvious one too, is just humor, right? Like most of the stuff that I just say in general, you know, be it in a chat, be it in a call, be it in a stream or whatever, you know, I'm usually trying to crack a joke, right? And the humor varies, right? Like humor is another thing I want to talk about in the Daily Ramble, because there's so much broadness to it, and it's such a big part of my life, I like to believe. So, it's very important to me. But regardless, humor is something I use very often, and it's something I try to refer to back very often. Like sometimes I'll pop into streams. You know, if I'm making a joke, or, you know, it can vary, right? Sometimes it'll be, you know, sarcastic, sometimes it'll be more dry, sometimes it'll be more dark. It just kind of depends on the scenario. It also depends on the community, right? You know, my sense of humor is pretty consistent, but it also changes a lot, depending on, you know, the people I'm surrounding myself with. And again, that's just part of my 12 different personalities. But even so, that's just kind of how I'm sure a lot of people have noticed that usually whenever I'm like replying to someone, I'm trying to reply back with a funny kind of comment. Is if it's in a stream or in a DM or just kind of anything in general, right? But I was focusing on that UFO. I was transfixed on that thing. Oh goodness me. But no. Humor. Just that's kind of the thing. You know, it's another big thing, and like, you know, it's humor's a pretty humor I believe is like one of the most important things a person can have in their life, and I think a lot of people can agree with me on that, because like, you know, it's the argument again of quantity versus quality, right? And sometimes quantity wins, which is, you know, a bunch of little things, versus quality, which is one big thing. And I think a lot of people can agree with me that in some scenarios, quantity is better. Some areas, quality is better, right? You know, I mean, there. Like, let's go back to an YouTube example, right? Like, there are some people who will upload, you know, tons of kind of lower effort, you know, short content, and there are different people, you know, the animation side of YouTube, which will take a month to upload a single video, and both of those channels tend to pop off really hard, regardless. Right? And it's a very interesting thing to see, just how quantity can work sometimes compared to quality, right? And it's a fun thing I like to study pretty often. And I'm going to continue to do so. And like, that's kind of my issue right now with my YouTube channel, is that I posted a lot of quantity content, and then I started trying to flow into the quality content, and I've had a video I've been working on for almost a month now, and my YouTube videos have kind of been a lot slower. My YouTube uploads have been kind of a little bit slower, but I'm still wondering if it's a good thing or a bad thing or not, because it all depends once I get that video out, right? Because I keep referring to this video, and it's a really big video, and I think it's going to be very important to the Smoky 2 community, and I plan on uploading more videos like it, right? So, and it's just once again the question of, is it going to be worth it in the end? Who cares? Try it anyways, and if it doesn't, you can just move on. Oh goodness, my laptop. What is up with you? What is all this? What's all that black stuff? I don't know. I don't want to know. We'll figure that out later. But in any case, the point, you know, quite simply trying to make, you know, sit down, make a joke, what the hell, why not? But, you know, but again, you know, the quantity, humor is quantity. Humor is a lot more quantity compared to, I mean, it can be more quality, right? It just depends on the joke you're trying to make, right? Like, if you're gonna sit down, and, you know, if you're going to, like, a stand-up comedy show, more often than not, they're trying to get to one big punchline at the end of their story or skit or whatever. And, you know, if you're just kind of having an average conversation with someone, more often than not, you're just cracking little jokes every so often, right? Like, you know, you make a little sarcastic comment here, you make a little joking insult over here, and just kind of like that, right? But regardless of, you know, which jokes are the most impactful, I think the point still stands of, you make a joke, and then you can make another joke, and then you can make a joke after that, and after that, and after that, and after that, and, you know, it's helped, right? It's just to be able to make, you know, multiple jokes back to back, right? You know, it's a small thing that's gonna make someone smile. You know, just a single joke is just a small thing that will probably make someone happy. And a lot of us understand it, right? Like, a lot of us will make a small joke and we're like, oh, we're gonna expect our friend to laugh, or it's gonna make me feel a bit happy, right? Um, but and even then, you know, that's just a thing we expect, right? But that's just kind of what I do, right? That's why I keep trying to do the humor-based stuff, right? So I make a joke, it makes at least it makes a person smile most of the time, and then I'll make another joke which will make other people smile, and then I'll go so on so forth from it, right? And that's just another thing, and that's just kind of what I do for humor. It's just it's a lot of small things that will help out a person. And I think, you know, it's a very important thing to consider with humor. You know, it's very helpful. You know, it's very nice to just be able to. And then these idiots didn't pick up any items. What's the point I'm trying to make? I think you guys understand the point I'm trying to make, but regardless, you know, it's still. I try and be funny, you know, basically all the time, just because it's just a small thing to make someone's day, and it all comes full circle, and I think we all know that. That's just how things work. And it's nice to just be able to do that, just to be able to sit down and just make joke after joke, and I mean that's just how I am in real life as well, right? Like I'm a lot of people that I know IRL consider me a funny person who just tries to cheer up the mood all the time. And that's just kind of the person I want to be in general. So I'm happy to keep doing that. But I'm not sure where I'm really trying to go with this one, but I am. and that's all right, you know. And that's perfectly fine. But you know, I just think humor is just another big topic that I'm absolutely going to be discussing on another day, and it's very important to me. So I'll kind of leave it be for now, and I'll go on later on it on a future episode. But for now, the other thing I like to do and help out people is just, you know, general comforting, right? And it's obviously a bit different compared to flirting and compared to flirting and, you know, making jokes, right? Like, comforting someone is something I really shouldn't be doing as much as I do. You know, I spend a good amount of my friendship trying to comfort people, and I would spend a lot of them comforting a lot of different people. And I don't know if it's necessarily broken friendships or not, but it's certainly demotivated me from a good amount of them. And it kind of sucks. So it's still another fine line you have to find. And I think that's a more of a quality kind of thing, actually, you know, to be able to sit down and do one big talk with someone and try and make them feel better. And I don't know how they feel about it most of the time. I don't know how good I am, but it's just another thing to just to sit down and just, you know, try and be nice to people, right? And like, it's like, what the hell? What's the worst that can happen, right? What's the worst that can happen if you go up to someone, you give them a high five, you say hello with a smile on your face, you tell them they have a really nice shirt on, I love the color blue. You know, they're related, obviously. That'd be kind of weird. You know, to walk up to someone, they've got, you know, a pink shirt on, they've got black pants. You go, hey, I like your shirt. I love the color yellow. And they're just like, what are you on, and where can I get it? But I still think it's funny. But you know, just I think just the big takeaway with this video, it's been a ramble, and that's what I like about the series, I guess, is to just have no expectations, just kind of go into something and just, at the very least, practice myself talking into a blank microphone, you know, into some empty space. And I'm happy to do so. I'm always happy to be able to do that sort of thing. And you guys clearly enjoy it, so I'm always happy to do more of this stuff. So just, yeah. But the big takeaway, just be nice to people. What's the worst that can happen? You know, go up to a friend of yours, go up to a community you appreciate a lot, and just send a nice message. It doesn't have to be long. It can just be a, hey, you guys are great, thanks for everything, heart emoji. You know, it doesn't have to be super big. But, you know, that one comment might make someone's day. And that one comment might just, you know, make your life. And that's something we need to consider, is that we don't know the other side. But it's always good to at least be aware that that other person might want the closest they can get, which is what we are able to give. And I think that'll pretty much conclude that for today. Thank you guys again for watching through this. I'm really enjoying making these videos. It's a lot of fun. I just need more time and ideas to do. So again, like I said last time, if you've got, you know, ideas for things for me to talk about, questions that I should answer and talk about in videos, you know, if you've got kind of run categories I should do, I'm very happy for any and all feedback. Just please leave a comment down below. Or hey, join my Discord. That's a thing now because I got 100 subscribers. So check the link below, join my Discord, and you know, maybe I'll make a Daily Ramble channel after this. You know, I don't know, probably not. But regardless, again, thank you guys so much for sticking around. It really means a lot to have you guys around with me. So just remember, you guys are all unreasonably handsome, extremely adorable, cute, kawaii. I don't know how to say that word. But you guys are all amazing people, and I'm appreciative to have each and every one of you around. So thank you once again, and I hope you all have a wonderful, wonderful day.